So, Vivian.
Apparently we're too much. Come on, you ain't seen nothing yet.
39. Oh my gosh, this is all too bright. 39, there we go. Limping. Limping. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Fruitful in the west and south. Not fruitful in the east and north. Fruitful to see great people. Constancy. Good fortune. Take a step back from the struggle and connect with people more than ideals. Seeing helpful people keeps you traveling towards your long-term vision despite the obstacles and course corrections. Some with experience and wisdom might reorient you, or you may be guided by an inner vision or visitation. Where can you find help? How could you see the obstacles differently? Can you imagine going a different way? So that's interesting, right? It's about how we change the way we go upon our path after we've kind of gone through a little bit of the pain of the matter, right? That all makes good sense to me. All right. All right. The Lotus Blue Butterfly. I believe this guy's a fire elemental. Yeah. Transformation. Becoming. Lightness. Beauty. Transformation, becoming, lightness, and beauty. All right. All right, if you guys want to see, this is the back side of the deck.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's a little hard to see with the light glare, but it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got the 6-sided star behind it. Hold on a second, if I get it right, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, really
Yeah,
cool.
it's easy to see when it isn't this obnoxious light I'm working with over here, but all right.
And real quick in between for your exfoliation, we got the tip rock salt and coconut oil.
Okay. I might have coconut oil, rock salt. I got kosher salt. That works, right? Because that's what I've been using kosher salt and the rough end of a scrub sponge.
I mean, I'm gonna screenshot that part.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
I'm just gonna.
We make a few more incriminating mudras.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna clip that part and just post it as a short.
All right, so here we have the Seven of Swords reversed. Seven of Swords reversed. And so this one has an emphasis on where these energies move, right? So the energy is pointing down on this. Here's the energy pointing up. Right? So that's it on its upward trajectory. There's very much a this is a very phallic situation with this thing. Like that's something that I feel like is supposed to be a subtle bend in what it is. You've got the sabers and the way that it curves. It's a lady. It's a lady part, right? You're looking at the lady part and the penetrating sword down the center, right?
Sex act with Zarelath?
Something to that effect. Yeah, because, like, I'm looking at it. You've got there's 4 swords on the outer wall, right? And the 2 on each side are sabers, right? So they're curved swords. Right? So those are the feminine swords, right? That's her, right? And then he is the 3 straight swords going straight through it around the flower. This is called the Lord of Unstable Effort. Unstable effort, which is interesting, right? So this is kind of like a thought portal that is there for creation, for creation purposes. And we have Saulo. Saulo is here, right? So, I mean, this could be the idea of making a child or preparing for a child, or some child has to pass through something, or some person, really. Let's forget about child for a second, just in case that's an offbeat. It's a person. Could be just a person who, if we were to look at this in its upright, right, it's like arches, right? So you're passing through the threshold of something in the mind. You're passing through something, a threshold in the mind that affects you on a deep soul level, right? It's like a growing up process. Maybe you're walking through the doors of college for the first time, right? So it's reversed, right? So whatever rite of passage this person is going through, it ought to be reevaluated. There's something amiss with it. So, what are the origins of this problem? 10 of Swords, the Lord of Ruin.
By the way, I hope that there's not too much banging on my ends, because my cat was laying on the table and he was very comfy and whipping his tail around.
You know what? I heard a little something, but it didn't sound like anything at all, so I completely ignored it. That's about all I really heard.
Yeah, no, okay. Good, because my cat was being comfy, my familiar, he was getting comfy. And
gotcha.
I bought myself a better microphone. Got an actual XLR now, so...
So this bad boy has an association with the sun. That is the sun symbol sitting on top of these two crossed swords with the crisscrossing swords going up and down it in a zipper-like fashion. Right? And so this is our 10 of Swords. And that's implying that it's creating this form that has a sense of a completed thought. Right? Swords are words, it's thoughts. And so when you hit 10 of Swords, it's like the end of the book. It's the end of the paragraph. It's the end of the whatever length the thought is, whatever scale the journey is at, right? So this idea came to a conclusion. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat because in the lower arcana here, I remember this with the swords deck, right? It's a theme with this flower. This black image here on the 10, like that's like the form of the flower. The black spikes on the petals on the 7, and then on the 10 it doesn't have the petals anymore. It's just those black spikes, and they're all fucked up, right? So that's and for one thing, I like it because it's very Lovecraftian. It looks kind of like Azathoth, but it looks like Azathoth because his tentacles are shattering, right? Like, so this is literally like destroying a thought demon, right? So that's what this little matrix is intending to do. It's trying to destroy a lie. It's trying to destroy a lie. That's the lie being destroyed here at the 10 of Swords. Right? So a major truth was revealed to... It was Victoria, right? Or Vanessa?
Vivian.
Vivian!
Something with a V.
Something with a V. It was definitely a V word.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vivian.
We're talking about V's, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, this is fascinating, though. We have Ansu's reversed. Reversed. Interesting. So, whatever this came, like, this came to the end of this thought, right? The end of this thought, it still didn't give you the answer you were looking for, right? Whatever came out of this, if you thought it was the answer, you're not interpreting it right for some reason, right? It's Ansu's reversed, right? It's Loki's forked tongue. Verdandi. What is our present worth of the moment? More swords. It's the Knight of Swords. He's got these pretty wicked kind of angel wings on top. He's also got a six-pointed star over his head that also has its own angel wings. This is a pretty righteous card in many respects. So he is the Lord of the Winds and Breezes, right? Once again, like, it's kind of funny because this could be almost like Azathoth in Lovecraftian mythos is very parallel, for those who know Thomas Sheridan's work, to Choronzon. And Choronzon, who is also Pazuzu, is a lord of the lower winds. So this card tells me that when you wanted to defeat such creatures, it's the Knight of Swords that does it, because that's his domain. That's who needs to handle that role. He's the Pazuzu Slayer, right? So that's Vivian's quest. She's out there trying to destroy the demons that are creating the madness. So am I. It's an interesting job, isn't it?
You can say that again.
Yunga's popped up here too.
Again? Oh.
Isn't that interesting? Right when I'm saying so am I. Oh, silly me. I got this mixed up with one of my other sets, and I just pulled Yunga twice. That is wild.
How do you do that?
That belongs in my other rune set, and I must have thought it belonged in that one. And I probably packed it in a hurry, because I really wanted to use that rune set, and I probably did that months ago. I can't believe I just pulled it twice. That is wild. That was meant for this reading. All right. Ingvaj. All right. You have to go hard into this transformative process. You've got to... You've got to be Lancelot in the Holy Grail storming the castle. You've got to just be over the top about whatever the hell this represents. Like, and it represents a transformation from within. It's a becoming process. All right. This is present moment anyway. This is worth, right? Mm-hmm. So you're probably kind of doing that, or I'm giving you confirmation that that is what is happening. Now, what kind of decisions should you make? 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. Lord of Loss in Pleasure. Lord of Loss in Pleasure. Interesting. Now, this chooses to give us the pentagram as the right side up card. This is not reversed, right? So I have talked about this, right? This symbol in its neutral sense, this is Hermetic Tarot, this is alchemy. This is drawing the spirit down to earth. that has a moral implication when used in Satanism and other crafts. But when you are simply taking higher energies and bringing them to Earth, there's nothing inherently evil with that. That is what is expressed when you see the pentagram in this kind of context, right? And so this card shows Mars and Scorpio. So this is the will of the emotional power, right? This is emotional power, right? This is like, if you remember last week, I pulled the Five of Cups, the Five of Vessels, it's called, in my Wildwood deck. And it also had the cups at the tips of a pentagram. It was right side up, but you don't know what direction it was actually facing. Maybe it was facing south. And there was a guy, you know, there's a lady who was doing a dance in the middle of the pentacle, or pentagram, if you will. Right? So there is an association there, right? And you're taking the five aspects of your feelings. Maybe you're putting five different kinds of arts and crafts together to make magic happen, right? You've got, when you do magic, typically you want to bring in five elements, right? And so this is saying that you want to evoke the principle of five in something with what you are doing. Lord of Loss in pleasure. I still have a lot to intuit about that, right? So there's not too much more I can say about Lord of Loss in pleasure at the moment. But I haven't drawn the rune yet. We got Ehwaj reversed. Ehwaj reversed. So you're missing one of these elements, at least, in whatever your magical work is, whatever the emotional components are to what you're trying to do. Something's missing about that, right? There's something or someone you're supposed to care about with doing this. And you don't want to reconcile it and admit that you care, I suppose. Might be the best way, I'd imagine, this energy to vibe here, right? This, once again, right, it's associated with we got this limping situation is what's up with this, right? So I find it interesting. We got the Knight, we got all this power, this double focus because of my fated juggling of my runes in life, having me psychically telling you with great importance that whatever this idea that you are championing is that stick with it, it's making you into something better, right? And then this is what to be wary of. And obviously, because you've got the Ansus reversed over here in your origins, that's something to be straightened out, to reevaluate this situation in the past, right? Because this is all very obvious. The 10 to the Knight, this is just like, you're on your quest. The Knight was on a quest. He got to the end of the quest. He had his question answered, and now he's off to do this thing, but his, like, this is your Grail quest. Now I actually look at sword, cup, Grail. This is your fucking step. You're on the 5th step to the Holy Grail. There we go. That's what's fucking happening to you right now. See? Hermetic die. I pulled it out. Psychically. It's in there somewhere, right? So this is just build your relationship with magic and don't be afraid, to bring things into the materium, right? Pulling down from the ethers is not inherently evil, right? You know what you're doing. You're a big boy or girl. You're a girl, Vivian, I assume.
Don't just assume gender.
Put your panties on, it'll be all right. Okay. Yeah. With Ehwaj reversed, the limping, there's probably a wound from like an argument with somebody who was probably a great asset to you on your quest. and you lost that fucking person or something like that. And that is what it is. What was it? Yeah, transformation. And the Ingwaj already, this is all about the transformation. It says transformation and becoming, which is technically the same effing thing. We'll give it a pass. And then the idea of the lightness and the beauty, right? Not to, forget what this is all about at the same time, right? This one works with a convergence point. It doesn't work off of crisscrossing. Nothing crisscrosses like it does with the 10. So you're working with some misconverged ideas, right? And so you're kind of stepping through this this quest. It's like you're supposed to go through door number 3, but you went through door number 8, right? And you got there, and that's why you've got the false answer. It's like in a video game. It's just like you went through, you beat it, but the game had different ways to go through the maze. And to finish the quest, now you gotta go back, gotta go through the maze again, and go through the maze the right way, and get the actual power sword at the end of the maze, right? Zelda nonsense. Lightness, yeah, so... And then lightness and beauty has something to do with this. And I think that's probably more... I think you maybe had your fill of the heavy side of doing all this stuff, and you're just like, I'm not doing it that way anymore, right? And I think that's what it's about. And you're going to be using your head a little bit more, and you just need to know what you got to do to master running with this thing better than you were accustomed to. Now, finally... pulled clearing again. So, you're going for the same exact afterthought.